just to get off right after the start, I want to ask you where or when you had this realization that being a musician was something that you absolutely had to do. Do you remember like an exact moment when this happened?
Well, I've been doing music my whole life. So my mom is a songwriter, and so
So
I'm
whole
second
life
generation.
was starting what age?
3 or 4 years
3 or
old.
4 years
so
old. Doing
yeah.
what instrument?
Well, I didn't play an instrument for a long time. I've always been a singer, and
Gotcha.
so my mom is a singer. She wrote songs, and my family, all my siblings, we all sing together, and so that's how I grew up. And so
Awesome.
we sang mostly in churches, so a lot of gospel music and
But all that
type
harmony
of,
singing
yes.
paid off.
Yes, yeah. And
yeah.
so I've always loved music. It's always been a really big part of who I am, and singing has always been important to me. But it wasn't until 2024, actually, that I started pursuing music for myself. And I've only been writing for 2 years, a little over 2 years now, and picked up the guitar in 2024.
Wow.
And yeah, so it was 2 years ago that I was really like, you know what, this is something I could actually do versus something I just enjoy.
And then back to your influences, clearly you're playing when you're very, very young. So from what I understand, your mother has a history as a songwriter?
Yes. Yep. She has written, we put out around 8 albums while we were traveling. And so we ended up touring the US and did that full time for about 7.5 years. We lived in a tour bus, whole 9 yards, you know. And
So what kind of how were you playing? What was the band or what was the format?
it was just our family. And so
Yeah.
she would play guitar or piano, and then all of us kids would sing. And we kind of had a family band, but most of us didn't play instruments. I played violin when I was a teenager and picked that up. So she and I would play together, and we would go from church to church, and we would do about 100 performances a year, if not more.
That's
So
a lot.
it was a lot.
Like every 3
yeah.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a good experience. So all the lower 48 states I've been to and sung at, which is really cool. So yeah, that's.
And currently based in Madison, but during this whole time frame you're traveling, did you have like a traditional home somewhere?
We started out in New York. That's where most of us were born, and then traveled down to South Carolina to try and kind of break into more of the gospel music scene down there. That didn't happen the way we thought it was going to. So we eventually ended up moving down to Mississippi for a while, and we had a home base there. And then once we went on the road, we didn't really go back to any specific place. We just kind of would winter wherever. One year we were in California, and another year we're somewhere else, and we were just all over the place. And we didn't actually have a house. So for a while there, it really was just us on the road and on the bus. So yeah.
And you have a big family, from what I understand. How many siblings?
Yes, I have 10 siblings.
10 siblings.
Yep.
Wow.
So yeah.
So did everyone in the band, was everyone in the band?
We all sang.
Yeah.
2 of them were born while we were on the road.
Wow.
And then, so they're still little. My youngest sibling he's 9.
Yeah.
So there's quite an age range. But everyone did sing at some point with the family band. So
Very
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So new album coming out. Tell me a little bit about your new album and what you can share with me about it.
Yeah, so the album is a dream come true for me because obviously, like as a songwriter, as a musician yourself, I'm sure you understand how important like original music is. And so I since picking up songwriting, it's just been like a huge dream of mine. I'm like, I would love to put out an album. My mom put out albums. I was in the studio with her as a kid so many times.
During those 8 albums you put out, are you just stopping in little spaces, the recording studios along the way, or how's that work?
Yeah, most of them were recorded up in New York in a home studio, and then we did kind of stop around the country, different places, a few different places to record, and we would take like a week or 2 and just really go hard and hit the ground, and then put an album out. So we did that, but I spent a lot of time in the studio growing up and loved it, and never tried my hand at songwriting until 2024, like I said. And people had always asked me, are you a songwriter? Because your mom is a songwriter, so they just would assume that I was, and I always said no. And it occurred to me randomly in 2024, I was like, you know what, I haven't actually tried. Like I've never actually tried, and I've told people I'm not, but what if I was wrong? What if I could do this, you know? And so I'd been working like odd jobs in retail and stuff, and I was like, nothing is clicking and nothing feels right. So I just decided to pick up a guitar, and I bought one on Facebook Marketplace and wrote my first song, and then they kind of all just started like tumbling out of me, and I was like, where are these coming from? I never knew that this was something I could do. So it was kind of revolutionary for me.
So can I ask you your process now as a songwriter? Like, do you just sit down with a guitar and start, like, what is your process?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I usually will just sit down and try to pull something out. Sometimes a song will kind of hit me at a random time, or a melody or a lyric, and I'll just have to sing it into my phone if I don't have my guitar
Sure.
on me.
Best thing to
But
do.
yeah, when I'm at home, I'll usually just, sit down and start strumming and see what happens. Sometimes they'll fall into my lap, and sometimes they'll be harder to put together, but
For sure.
I think each of them have their own story, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
we're lucky when one
Yeah.
just comes out. With your album, what are you trying to convey? What message are you trying to send to your listeners or the people, or for yourself, I should say? What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I think the album, it has a lot of different stories. Some of them are very personal to me. There's a lot of songs on there there's 10 original songs on the album. There's several that speak to specific points in my life that kind of talk about, there's one that's called Girl Like Me, that's about my mom and like about her being a songwriter. And then there's another one called That Old Piano, and that's about the piano that was in our house when we were growing up and how meaningful that was to us and how we kind of shaped our lives around music in a sense.
Sure.
And so I really want people to be able to hear those stories and kind of feel more connected to me as the artist and understand where I came from. Because even though I've been writing and performing my own music for 2 years, that can feel kind of like not very long. So sometimes when I say that to people, they're like, oh, you haven't been doing this very long. And I'm like, well, I really have been doing music my whole life.
Performing
Yeah.
at a
I'm
high
like,
level,
I
yeah.
have been around songwriting my whole life. I have been performing since I was very, very small. But with the album, I want them to feel like they can know me a little bit better. And then some of the songs are, just stories that I wrote that are about things that aren't even connected to me. There's some on there that are really big. We have a couple of really big ballads that I'm really excited to share with people. But I think each song is kind of unique in its own way.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
You still have that old piano?
We don't.
No.
Unfortunately, it got lost along the way somewhere.
You lost a piano.
I know. I don't know how you lose a piano.
If you're traveling on a bus,
and we
that's
don't
another
have it anymore, unfortunately. So there's a little line in the song though that actually talks about, I wonder whose hands are playing it
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
it was special, but unfortunately we lost it along the way.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Locally, you're playing, where do you like do you have a spot, like a main place that you like to play while you're in Wisconsin?
Not right now, like personally. I'm in a cover band actually since last summer that I've been in, and we play all over the Madison area. And we got all the way up to like Sister Bay last summer, and we get around. I've got a few more shows in Madison before I leave, and then I've got one in Green Bay. So I kind of just get around and drive all over the place. Since I grew up on the road, I'm just used to spending a lot of time in the car.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, so
Just
I
follow-
drive all over and yeah.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
So as a local musician, are you finding any challenges? Like, what would you say is your biggest challenge as someone doing this at this level, like regionally?
As a local musician, I think sometimes I can feel a little disconnected from the music scene because where I'm at right now, it's a lot more of like a cover scene versus an original scene.
I struggle with that. Big time,
Yeah, and there are some really great original musicians and singers in Madison, but it's kind of the difference between being in Nashville and being here. It's a little bit harder for me to feel like there's collaborative work for me and like finding other artists who actually want to write their own material versus just performing a cover show. And I've loved being in a cover band. I think it's so fun, and there's a lot to be said for that. And performing for 3 or 4 hours at a time and singing 60 songs in one go. Yeah, I actually have a cover show coming up that's a solo, and it's 3 hours, and I'm racking my brain. I'm like, how am I going to survive a 3-hour solo?
I'll tell you how you do it. You friend the manager, and then you just waste your time a little bit. You take your time between sets. You tune for a minute and a half between songs. You wander off. These are all my moves. This is how I get through 3 hours of
I'm
the
like,
show.
so I'm going to tell you a lot about myself tonight because otherwise I'm going to lose my voice.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to be said for the cover scene, but I'm really looking forward to being in a music scene where I can be more collaborative and like write a lot of my own stuff and perform with other people who are also trying to have a career versus a hobby.
Yeah, well, you should be excited about doing original music. I think it's how you'll be remembered,
Yeah.
So you have a current band. How does your band, can you tell me about the format of your band and how it kind of came together?
Yeah, so it's me, I'm the only girl in the band, and then 6 guys, and they kind of have become like dads to me a little bit. And so last summer, I think they found me on a music website that I had a profile on. I don't even remember where it was. It might have been Facebook even. And they were just looking for a new person for the band because their girl had step down, and so they asked me to audition, and I was like, sure, I'll audition, and walked in and got the part. And,
Awesome.
and
So you're able
yeah.
to step into an already like functioning band.
Yes,
That's pretty wonderful.
Which is really nice because it's a lot easier than trying to build one from the ground up.
Yeah.
So then I just had to learn like 50 or 60 songs, in a week.
Oh my
and
gosh, gives me anxiety. I have so much anxiety thinking about
yeah.
that.
And then I have been with them since last summer, and it's been awesome. Like they are just the sweetest guys, and I am sad to be leaving them, but they're excited for me, and yeah.
You have a favorite memory with this band?
Favorite memory.
So you're leaving them so soon?
Yeah, we've had some really fun shows together. I think we've got a couple of favorite venues. I think our favorite one right now is like Lucky's on the Lake in Lodi.
Sure.
We love that venue. We've had some really fun experiences there.
I just played Ferry Crossing,
Yeah?
the place on the other
Okay,
side
yeah,
of the lake.
yeah, yeah.
But I was surprised by how fun of a show I had.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, so-
We had an absolute riot on July 4th there and loved it. And the people are great and they really love us. And
Yeah.
so it's been super fun to be a part of that and to just have the support of the guys and feel like I can share some of my own music because they play some of my songs now too.
Oh, awesome.
And so being able to share some of my songs with them is so fun. And I would hope that someday I can come back and maybe still play a few
Yeah.
shows with them in the future, So.
It's cool you do forget that you can still reach people at that high energetic level when you're in a cover band. It's still very much available to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's about owning the song and trying to take ownership of it as much as you can, even if it's not your song. And so sometimes I'll say I'm a method singer, where I'll just think like, if I wrote this song and I was trying to convey the message of this to someone, how would I sing? I dug my key into the side of his Pretty Little Souped Up four-wheel drive. I'm like, how would I sing that? And so it is really about like taking charge.
Yeah. So do you take a little liberty with like the way, are you playing the cover songs verbatim, like how they're written, or?
We do them pretty much as how they're written,
Yeah.
like the arrangements, but sometimes I'll vocally improvise and
Sure.
do my own thing, or I'll sing a high note, or I'll do a guy part in a song that's not normally sung by a female, and so
Sure.
like I do things like that that are kind of take people by surprise, I think, in a way that hopefully is enjoyable for the audience.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Moving to Nashville. It's a pretty big step.
Yes.
What made you? What's the impetus behind the move?
Well, I have had a lot of people tell me that I should do it for years, and the reason I haven't yet is because I haven't felt like I had good connections there, and it's also not the most advantageous decision to throw yourself into a
Big
big
pond.
pond with bigger fish versus being a medium-sized fish in a smaller pond,
Sure thing.
And so that's how I felt when I started writing. I was like, I could move to Nashville, or I could just stay where I'm at and figure out what works for me here, and maybe eventually that will be a step I can take. And so then back in January of this year, I was actually supposed to go and see someone who I was dating at the time, and then that trip got canceled and the relationship ended unexpectedly. And I was like, you know what? I have an opportunity now where I have a week free time. And so I went to Nashville instead, and it was one of the best opportunities. I
That's
met some
awesome.
people who I wrote songs with, and it was great, and made some really good connections. And after that, they were kind of like, you could like move down here and make it a thing. And I was like, okay, I feel like maybe this is the right time. And then I was back there again in May and recorded my album and got connected with a producer there earlier in the year. I'm kind of saying these things out of order, but he and I got connected in February and have been writing on FaceTime actually, which is not the easiest way to write, but it worked for us. And so we've been meeting up weekly and writing and just kind of like hitting the ground running with the songs and trying to figure out what that looked like. The whole album was crowdfunded though, so
Amazing.
it was a very cool
Just through like
opportunity.
Kickstarter or through something like
Yeah,
that?
it was Kickstarter, and we raised $22,000 in less
That's
than a
great.
month,
It's a good budget to make
which
an album.
was crazy.
Yeah.
So
You told me the album was expensive to produce.
it was expensive, but music is expensive,
It is, to do it
and
the right way.
people don't understand, and they'll ask me all the time, like, can you put this song out? Can you put out a cover of this? And I'm like, I would love it if I could just put out a
Yeah.
cover of everything that I like to sing, but it's just not that
Sure.
affordable. So yeah, but it was really cool to see people rally around the music in a way that I felt supported, because I was like, this is insane. I've only been doing this for 2 years, and to be able to have that kind of bought-in audience is such a gift for me as an artist, because I'm like, that just tells me how much they believe in the music and how much they believe in me. And so it was really an honor to see that happen.
Yeah,
and
that's
to,
how validating. That's
yeah.
really marvelous.
So all that to say, I'm going
So-
to Nashville later this year.
Is the album done, being recorded?
The album is done. We just wrapped production a few weeks ago, and so it's not been released yet. The people who helped pay for it have it, because I wanted to do like a limited release to them so that they could feel rewarded for all of their generosity.
Sure.
But it's not been released publicly because we're kind of spacing it out and putting
Sure.
out singles.
Take some planning for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well,
the first
marvelous.
single just came out in June, and the next single is coming out next weekend.
14th.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so awesome. You got to be
Yeah.
very excited.
I am.
So do you have like a trajectory or a plan? So when you get to Nashville is just to keep promoting your album and make connections, rub
Yeah.
shoulders, network?
Yeah, it really is a lot about connections. And thankfully now I have more connections than I even did when I went in January. I have made some really cool connections, met some really good people. So I already have my first show lined up there for when I go. But yeah, we're going to keep releasing singles as we go and throughout the rest of the year. We have 10 songs, so that's enough to last us for quite a while. And then, yeah, just trying to see if I can, make some connections. It really is all about connections and all about the people you know versus the playing around. And so I'm trying to eventually go on tour, and I would love to come back here and play some real shows.
Play
and
Lucky's?
stuff. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I would. I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you realize it was time to take your leap to Nashville? That was just after the foiled boyfriend trip, and then
I think it was kind of in January where I started thinking seriously that could happen, and also because it didn't feel coincidental for that series of events to have occurred the way that they did.
That's when the universe tells you what's
Yeah,
going on.
yeah, I was like, this feels like a divine intervention of sorts, where it's like, you know what, you're not supposed to go here, you're supposed to go here, and I was like, it just feels like the right timing for me, and like I have established myself enough as an artist now to be able to hopefully make some waves when I go. I'm under no delusions that it will be easy, because I know that it will not be.
Are you going to have to work or do anything when you get there? Are you going to just try to gig, or what are you going to?
We'll see. I've got my hands in a few different places to try and kind of diversify my income as an artist, because it can be very difficult to work a job and do music.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't really have all those things all mapped out.
You're going and you're confident you'll find a way. So that's kind of how.
Exactly. I know that what is meant for me will find me, and it's going to work out one way or another.
Yep.
So.
Do you have any gigs or anything like that lined up in Nashville? You have.
Yeah, on September 28th, I'll be playing at the Station Inn.
Nice.
So
that's your first Nashville gig?
It's my first actual Nashville gig. I made my Nashville debut playing at 3rd and Lindsley down there in May, which was a really cool opportunity. I have a friend named Sean Camp, and he is a great writer and very, very talented musician, and he got me on stage there. And I didn't actually know at the time, because the way he phrased it was, it's me and a bunch of old guys. Those things mean different things.
Yeah.
In Nashville, it means something. And here, it means a bunch of old guys.
Yeah.
And down there, and it was some of the greatest session musicians of all time. And Linda Ronstadt's steel guitar player, and John Prine's producer,
Studs.
and people who are in the Country Music Hall of Fame. And so for me, I was kind of starstruck. Kathy Mateo was there, if you know her.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, wow, this is so cool. And I felt like, obviously...
goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm like standing there and the least talented person on the stage, and I was like, this is how it needs to stay. Like, I have to surround myself with these people. So.
Well, that's a pretty good sign. If your first performance is with that crew of people, it's pretty amazing.
It was really cool.
Too.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I felt very honored to have been even given that position on stage, because I'm like, who am I in comparison to all of these people who have been playing for longer than I've been alive, versus me, who just like comes in and I'm like, I've been writing for 2 years, and
I like the humility. I think that's a great place to come from on that.
Thank you.
So, bigger question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from today?
I would
Without
love
being humble.
I would love to be on tour.
Yeah.
And like a tour. Like, I think when I came off the road with my family, that's not something I ever thought I would go back to, honestly, because it's a lot of work. Touring is really
Hotel
hard.
rooms, your parents not looking over your shoulder,
Yeah.
no sibling rivalry, getting paid.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Getting paid,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and we were really tired out when we came off the road, and I was like, I'm never going to do this again. But now doing it as an independent artist versus as a family operation is really different, and so I would love to go on tour and be able to travel the U.S. and share my music all over the world even. I've had a lot of people ask me to come to the UK, so I'm like, I'll do my best, guys, trying, you know.
Over there. My sister's band is touring Europe right now, so when the time comes, reach out. They can probably get you in touch with some people.
I will.
Yeah.
But I would love, who knows, maybe I'll be signed and have a record deal or something like that. And I don't know, I don't know what the future's going to hold. Right now I'm independent because it's just a little bit smarter for me at this point in the game, but we'll see what happens. I'm open to whatever doors open for me.
So on your personal side of things, when you're not playing music, do you have any hobbies? What do you do? What do you enjoy doing besides playing music?
Yeah. Well, right now I nanny my nephew, so that's what I do for work, and so I
Okay.
get to hang out with him a lot. And he's almost 5 months old, and
Okay.
he's just the cutest little guy. So I get to hang out with him a lot. But I am pretty much consumed by music right now.
Yeah.
So my free time is usually spent like recording music videos and filming things. I've done a little bit of acting on the side actually. I was back in May. I was right before Nashville. I was actually filming a movie that's featuring one of my original songs. So that
Cool.
was a kind of a cool opportunity. But yeah, I do all sorts of different things. Try to get outside and enjoy the summer
Sure.
while we have it. I saw an orange tree on my way here, and I was like, okay.
Orange trees in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I was like, it's a little early, but
transplant.
yeah. So, but yeah, music is pretty much one of my sole focuses
Yeah, well,
right
that's
now.
good to
but
hear.
yeah.
It's good to hear. For people who want to start performing, what do you have any advice you'd want to give to people who are trying to do exactly what you're doing?
Yeah. Don't be scared to be bad at something.
Yeah.
Because that's what held me back for a long time, is being afraid that I was just gonna be bad at it.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
think like that'll be embarrassing if I try to write a song and it's not good, or if
Yeah.
people don't like it, and you just have to put that aside and
Put your ego down a little bit.
Exactly, yeah, and realize that if someone doesn't like it, that doesn't mean it's bad. Like I get my fair share of unkind comments on things, and some people really don't like when I cover a Karen Carpenter song because you'll never be Karen Carpenter, and I'm like, I know.
You ever see her drum?
Yeah, she's incredible.
She was like rated ranked amongst the best drummers in the world at the time. Yeah,
She was incredible.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of that point where you just have to let it roll off your back and realize that not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So, but don't be afraid to mess up.
Sure.
A piece of advice I got is if you lay an egg, stand back and admire it.
Yeah.
Because it's right there.
You ever mess up? You ever have a bad gig or anything?
Oh,
Because I have a
time.
million train wrecks during my gigs.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
all the time. I mean, the other night I was playing a show at Lucky's, actually, ironically, and I forgot the words to a song that I sing every time we're
my
there.
move.
And I was like, but when I'm with the band, I refer to myself as the patron saint of missing cues, because that's what I do. Like there's
Yeah.
a couple songs that I just always miss the cue,
Yeah.
even though I've sung it 100 times.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I mess up all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even a skilled guitar player right now. I've been playing for 2 years. So I'm like,
You're getting by.
yeah, so there's still some anxiety when people book me for a solo gig where I'm thinking, are you gonna judge my guitar playing? Are you gonna be like, this girl's an amateur? And my friend Sean in Nashville, I got on a FaceTime call with him and I was like, can you teach me how to play guitar really well? Because I just feel like I'm such an inadequate guitarist. And he was like, you know what, honestly, I don't think people are coming to your shows to hear your guitar playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I was like, I guess that's fair.
Here to hear your voice.
Yeah, he's
frankly.
like, they're here to hear you sing, and
Yeah.
your voice is your instrument, and it makes up for your guitar playing, even if it's, but he even was like, it doesn't even sound that bad. So I think you have to stop being so hard on yourself and
Sure.
realize that you're gonna be fine. You just have to keep working at it, practice every day, try to write a couple song lyrics
Room
every
to
day.
grow.
Yeah.
You're gonna get yourself a big jazz box and just do downstrokes every 2 minutes, like
Yeah.
Elvis did.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's really not as hard as it looks. Like you can play
Yeah.
a lot of songs
Yeah.
with 4 chords.
Certainly can. After you go to Nashville, where can readers or listeners follow your journey?
Yeah, so my Instagram and TikTok and Facebook handle is all the same. So it's Christiana Miller Music on everything.
Miller Music.
And then I'm still getting my website kind of overhauled, but that's ChristianaMillerMusic.com. So they can find me there. And in Nashville, I'll be posting my schedules and stuff for live shows because obviously I love to meet people at live shows. So I would love for them to be able to find me.
Any upcoming shows people should catch before you leave Wisconsin?
Yes, I have to try to remember all of them. On the 18th, I will be at Four-Way Bar in Swamico, I believe.
Okay.
That's like a 7 to 10. That's the 3-hour one. So you can come to that one and you can hear me sing for 3 hours.
You can play guitar too.
Progressively lose my voice and take long
gosh.
breaks between songs.
Yeah.
And then my last show with my band is going to be August 28th, and that will be at the Dirty Turtle in
yeah.
Boston,
Sure.
which is our second favorite venue.
It's a good spot.
Ever.
I know
So-
Ray, the owner, pretty well.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
a really fun one for us too. So we would really love it if everyone would come out to that one because that's kind of our last hurrah as a band. So yeah, that's going to be a fun show. I hope.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything we didn't cover that someone listening or watching would want to know about you that we haven't covered?
Well, I do have a new song coming out. So if they want to hear that, that's going to be on all streaming platforms. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but it's coming out August 14th.
Okay.
So it's called If I Got You, and it's my first love song, the only love song on my album. And we just finished filming the music video for it, which was a lot of fun. So I'm really excited for people to see that. It looks really good. You know, we put a lot of work into that. But it can be pre-saved right now. So if they want to go and find it, it can be found.
Okay. I want to say I wish you the most luck in Nashville.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're going to do great.
Thank you.
Just be yourself and do your thing.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure
Thank
to meet you.
You
Best of luck
too. Thank you. Appreciate it.